no flags on the field, didn't step out of bounds, make sure he caught the football. There were a bunch of things still going through my head, but I've been a part of, I think, 2 walk-off games, one when I was a player in Green Bay. In fact, the guy on the other side of the field, Al Harris, actually picked it off for us and went into the end zone today. So this one is obviously a little more special. But just happy for the guys, man. They never gave up. We talked about it, last night at the hotel. We talked about it again today. We just kept chipping away, against a really good football team. I mean, that's a well-coached, unit. They're obviously one of the top teams in the league, but this win today, I think, kind of just gives our guys confidence in who they are as a team.
There's a magic with a franchise quarterback. Do you see the belief in Trevor Lawrence in the locker room? How is that growing, and particularly over the last 5 or 6 weeks? What's that belief like that the team has?
The belief has always been there. And Trevor's done a great job of just running the show, running the team, doing what he's capable of doing, and just so happy for him, but really for the whole team. But just the guys are starting to believe in themselves too, and that's important down the stretch, and just a tremendous win by everybody. All 3 phases had a hand in it.
Coach, just want to ask you, that first half, their offensive line, I thought, did a pretty good job of keeping you at bay, and obviously they built the lead. What happened in the second half? I think that might have changed everything around. Was there something that you did differently?
Yeah, no, they obviously have a really good offensive line. They pride themselves on running the football. They did a nice job in the first half, and I just think it's a lot like last week against Tennessee. You just at some point you just have to wake up and say, hey, enough's enough, and the guys just hung in there and made a few adjustments up front as far as staying in base or going nickel defense, things like that. But other than that, we committed 11 guys to the run, and then it opened up our pass rushers to get after Dak in the passing game there in the second half, which really helped us obviously on the last play of the game.
And keeping the composure, even after Trevor's fumble, and they recovered with whatever time they had left, you still had the 3 timeouts. I mean, how important is it to say, hey guys, look, we stop them here, we get another chance?
Yeah, that's exactly the message we had on the sideline. We have 3 timeouts. There's still a lot of time. We'll get the ball back with maybe just under a minute to go, and a chance to go tie the football game. And what I appreciate about our guys and really the coaching staff is how we prepare our players for situations like that, right? And there's no panic. Guys are prepared. My hat's off to the staff for putting them in positions to go win games, or in that case to go tie the game. So just a great effort there.
Hey Doug, the 2 17-point comebacks this year, what does that say about a team that's trying to figure out who they are and how good they can be, that you're able to do that twice, especially against a team like this?
Well, I mean, we saw we saw the game last night, the Minnesota game, and I've been a part of games where we've been down and you work your way back. And listen, our guys, I don't really think they worry too much about where it is, what the score is. I really don't. I think they just keep focusing on their job and getting better at what they're doing in game. And as I said, we just keep chipping away. And somewhere we're going to get a stop on defense or a takeaway. Somewhere we're going to score a touchdown or a field goal on offense. Special teams are going to step up, and that's why you play, 60 minutes. And so I think it's just a matter of the guys just kind of trusting in themselves and gaining confidence as the game goes on.
Trey had a little bit of a rough day, but he gets his hand in there on that final pass and knocks it up. Is that the kind of kid that he is and the kind of player he is?
Who was that?
Trey Herndon. Gets his hand in there on that last pass, knocks it up for Rayshawn, had a little bit of a rough day.
Yeah, I think Roy had an impact on that play too as a D-line pass rush. I think he maybe hit Dak's arm or something too. So yeah, listen, it really, for 60 minutes and however 65 minutes or whatever it was in the game, it doesn't matter. It comes down to players making plays, and those guys, those 2 or 3 guys at that point made a play, and that's what games come down to. It just comes down to a few handful of plays, and just happy and proud of the guys for the way they hung in there.
Coach, obviously, this is a 2-part, maybe a 3-part question, but this
Go
is
slow.
too bad.
Go slow.
Okay, I will. Yogi Berra had the old saying, it's not over till it's over. We saw what happened with, obviously, the game yesterday with Minnesota and Indianapolis. So is there any kind of like a halftime speech when you know you're behind by a lot, especially against a top-tier football team?
There's, listen, I've been around this game a long time, from my dad coaching me in Pee Wee leagues to now, and there's no magical speeches. There's no words you can say. It just comes down to the players, as we talk about players making plays, and these guys are playing with a lot of confidence. They're playing together. We're playing complementary football. We've early in the season we probably weren't. We're doing that now, I guess the biggest thing too is if we just continue to focus on us and keep it internal. I do think that good things are going to happen for this team, and they're starting to show up. We still have a long way to go, even with 3 games. We're on a short week, playing on Thursday night on the road, and it's tough. We got to check out the injury situation. I mean, we've got our work cut out for us still.
And then the next part of the question is, do you want to see this get to a point where the Jacksonville Jaguars are no longer a trap game, that people are going to start taking your program a whole lot seriously?
Well, I don't get into a lot of that as much as I want our team to understand that we need to be playing meaningful football games in December and January. And we've put ourselves in that position. And so I'm proud of the guys for doing that. Our season could have gone sideways 3-4 weeks ago, the guys weren't going to let that happen. So I don't get caught up in all the storylines and all that could, the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. It's just a matter of those guys in that dressing room believing in themselves and getting the job done.
Doug, against this defense, you're going to have to run the ball effectively, and Travis did that, and the stuff you ran with Jamal, nice little changeup and everything. Talk about how much that helped Trevor, and then you went back to Travis almost immediately, right back in the game after the fumble, and are you, the confidence you have in that kid obviously is pretty high. So, how much did the overall run game help you today?
We felt like we had to try to run the ball today. It's a good pass defense, and they're good on third down. They create, we saw the pass rush and how dynamic it is. So we felt like we had to give the run game, a serious consideration today, and offensive line did a nice job. We had some misdirection runs too. You saw Agnew on the perimeter, and of course TJ, between the tackles and things like that. And Jermichael Hasty had a couple nice runs in there. So, just being able to keep a defense like that off balance and not really knowing where the run's coming from opens up some of the movement game, opens up some of the play action stuff, and it's just it was just great to see that our guys were able to kind of do that and create those opportunities, offensively.
With the ball security on Travis, you just keep working him.
Yeah, with Travis. It's like a quarterback. If you throw a pick, we're gonna put the ball back in your hands the next time we get a touch, and I wanted to make sure that he, Travis knew that we still have a lot of confidence in him, and we're gonna keep feeding him the football, and he did a nice job after that, and we just got to keep coaching him and making him understand that, hey, listen, ball security is everything.
Coach, 4 touchdown game today for Trevor, but talk about how your receivers today stepped up big to make that possible.
I mean, these guys are, it's an unselfish group. They work hard in practice every single day. You never know who's going to get the hot hand, in a game. A week ago it was 17. Zay had some nice catches today. Christian down the stretch. Marv got in the mix, screened to TJ. I mean, there's all kinds of things that took place in this game. But just the way these guys, I think, work with one another, work with Trevor, the way they practice, the way they study their opponent, study the game plan, says a lot about who they are and the type of people and men that they are.
Hey, Doug, Cam Robinson, Jawan Taylor, can you update us on those?
Yeah,
right
I'll check with Ferg when I'm done here. I don't have any updates right now.
Okay. Is there a fear that it's a severe one on Cam?
I don't want to speculate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does this – sometimes coaches just get a feeling about a team. What's your feeling about this team? Do you have a feeling that it's a special team? And that doesn't necessarily mean you go win a Super Bowl, obviously, but do you have a feel about this team?
You know, it's a special team in the sense that I'm seeing this group starting to come together, playing that complementary style of football. Even going back to training camp, the way we practiced and the way we, did things back then, you had the hope and the glimmer, and that we would one day be one of those football teams, and it takes time. I've said this before. It's not an overnight fix, but the way these guys continue to work together, I'm telling you, the way they practice. I know you guys don't see practice all the time, but the way they practice, and they practice hard. They just keep believing in themselves, and so from that, yeah, it's a special team, because I really don't think you win games like this if you weren't a close group, if you didn't have the right leadership in the locker room, if you didn't practice the way we practice. So, hats off to the guys for really buying into all of that.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, guys, thank you.